same level as those guys at such a young age.
Absolutely. So really what you're saying is then that the more challenges that came across, the more important the self-belief became. And also, we've put down here, discipline and work. The more you progressed, the more you believed, one of your core beliefs was the more you progressed, the more you needed to work hard. Why did you think that way?
Well, in hindsight, okay, I was 16 at the time, yeah. So that's 16 years of frustration, 16 years of hard work, 16 years of everything going into that 1 year that you want everything. So you're taking a lot of experience into there and a lot of drive and ambition and everything like that. As soon as you get to a certain point, you can either choose to work harder or you can choose to relax. I was a person who chose to work harder, yeah. Put myself in there. Don't forget, Torquay United was in the 4th division, not like League Two of today, but back in those days, it was Division 1, 2, 3 and 4.
For the younger ones?
Yeah, for the younger ones. Telly was in black and white, obviously, right? But it was like, back in those days, you were sold to a higher club. Nowadays, they go probably abroad and get somebody. So you always had that drive. I want to go to Manchester United. Lee Sharp had gone the year before from Torquay United to Manchester United. That's what I wanted. I realised I didn't have all the tools in my box to do that. But I realised that if I'm going to get out of this basement club, I need all the tools in my box. So that's what drove me.
Absolutely. So then really you get to the stage where you're still at Torquay and you've achieved what you really wanted to get, which was the professional contract.
Yeah.
And so all of the dream has really become reality.
Yeah, of course.
So when you've got that contract, when you've achieved that magnificent day, when you've worked all of these years, you've put in numerous amounts of hours of work, of believing in yourself, of practice, and more hard work to get there, you've got it. And then you reach a stage where you ask yourself a question. Is this the level, is this the highest level that I can get to?
I asked myself that question. I refused to believe that was the highest level I got to. I refused. I did an interview, and it's documented. I did an interview with a reporter, a lady reporter, way back in 1989, 90 maybe. And I said to her, I want to play in the World Cup. Yeah. When the press came out, the next day, all the older pros, all my teammates started laughing at me properly, okay? And it was a belly laugh. It wasn't like just a chuckle. It was a belly laugh. There was rolling on the floor and everything. I said to myself, that's my goal. I need to get to that goal. If that's the best that I can be, I want to be able to rub shoulders. I want to be able to be in the same competition that Pele's played in, Maradona's played in, players, Bobby Moore, Alan Ball, all these players who've been the best, or so-called themselves the best. Only 2% of players will ever get to the World Cup. I said to myself, that's what I'm going to do. That's me. And I set about that. Now, all the achievements that I was getting then became not good enough. Because then I said, right, I've got this is one bit. Right, now I've got it, let me concentrate on being something else. Now let me concentrate on getting something else. Until I got to that, I need to get to the World Cup.
Absolutely. So, really what we're saying is you got to the level of Torquay, you decided that actually you wanted to go higher. You put your heart and soul into going higher, and you set a level, you set a target, a goal that you wanted to achieve. And you changed your focus into not just the professional contract, but now what's next. So once you get to a place like the World Cup, how do you then motivate yourself to go higher?
Okay, the professional contract, huge point in any footballer's career. I don't care if you're Pele, I don't care if you're Joe Bloggs that's just signed a contract with Torquay United. That professional contract is the greatest single feeling that you will ever get, simply because it announces your position, it announces your arrival. So you know that point that you're on the ladder. So that professional contract was my pinnacle, but then that was the bottom of that became the bottom rung on the ladder. Okay, I then had to shift my focus, like you say, go up to what's the highest thing that I can get to now. That was the highest thing from that point. So then when I got to the World Cup, I figured, you know what? I played against the players and I said to myself, these players are no different to me. They're just a human being like myself. They're just another man. I want more of this. This is what I want more of. I want playing football on an international stage all the time. I may not get to another World Cup. I'll try and aim for it. But that pinnacle is not to relax, but to drive on further, become an influence in other people's lives, show people what it was like to play against a player in the World Cup, because that's what I walk about now. I walk as that player who's played in the World Cup. If I take the football pitch, people will say he played in the World Cup. So therefore, I've got to have drive now. I owe it to those people who look at me not to disappoint them. So I strive to be just as good all the time, just as good. Be that player who was playing in the World Cup. Be more successful. My ambitions now is to be a manager who's taken the team to the World Cup. So it never stays still, that target. As I hit the target, come on, let's drive on. Let's drive on, let's go further. My mum says to me, you know, you've done enough, you've done a lot, but the tools that she gave me makes me want to improve more, or want to achieve more.